What's up? Thank you for escaping with me. So I wanted to talk about this bad boy right here. Oop, oop, oop. There we go. The Krylon Matte Finish. This is great. There's a couple of alternatives that people have tried in the past, and from personal preference, I think this is actually one of the best things. It's just your typical spray here. You know, you just spray it and it does its magic. So I'm going to read off a couple things here so you all can understand why I recommend this, what it does, and the goods and the bads about it. So that's what I'm going to discuss in this video. Mainly, I haven't really found too many bad things about it. It also depends on what kind of paper you use, so we're going to talk about that as well. So on the front here, it does say it provides a permanent protective matte finish. So instead of being glossy, like there's a glossy spray too. It all depends on what kind of look you're going for with your art. Eliminates glossy sheen, like I just said. Non-yellowing, moisture resistant. I haven't encountered the yellowing yet, so I'm happy about that. So the Krylon Matte Finish, it provides a permanent non-gloss finish which provides art, crafts, and valuables, eliminates light reflection, dries fast and clear, and seals finished painting projects and acrylic backgrounds for decorative painters. So the great thing about that, that's what it provides in general. This is best used on displays, crafts, decorative painting, watercolors, charcoal, pencil, painting services. And my mistake, I meant to pause there in between decorative painting and watercolors. And so those are the types of things you can use. What the material it could be sprayed on is wood, metal, plastic, paper mache, glass, plaster, ceramic, dried silk flowers, or dried/silk flowers, paper, wicker, etc. But if you go into any art store, you can see the instructions there and be able to determine whether this is right for you. So upon reading all that, I discovered that this was actually, I think, the best thing for me. I know one of the alternatives was using like hairspray, and I thought, to have an example, these are the two sketchbooks that I've been using most recently. So this is Premiere by Nicole. This is just your average sketchbook, acid-free, 5.5 inch by 8, 160 pages, 80 sheets. And as you can see here, I've done plenty of sketches like this, Star Wars one, and D-Mash. So I've done a number of different colored and also just that hurt. Oh man, I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm not seeing where the camera is looking at. I'm very awkward right now. One day I sprayed every page in this sketchbook. I don't know why I keep thinking it's facing the other way. I sprayed everything in here, and oh wow, I'm really off today with this camera. So I just sprayed everything in there. Bad thing about getting spiral sketchbooks, even though they're my favorite, they're not as secure. So meaning they're gonna move around a lot, because you see what I'm doing right there. So that's obviously gonna cause smudging, and over time it's gonna lose the detail. You can probably see it in this sketch most of all, that some of the detail was rubbing away a little bit before I got this. So the only bad thing is, since it is a potent chemical, well, it doesn't really smell like it now, fortunately, but at first, for at least a few days, your sketchbook is gonna smell like strong chemical. But the pages are thin, and with any thin sketchbook, you want to just be careful with how you're inking or any type of thing like that. I would recommend only using pencils, just dry mediums, nothing really too wet like markers, for instance, because you could risk losing the whole side of the other paper if you do that, if you want to fill up the whole sketchbook like I've been doing. The other thing was, I made the mistake of, for this, I actually unfortunately made the mistake of finishing the whole picture, coloring it, and then spraying this. So obviously that, unfortunately, in retrospect, I didn't realize how negative that would affect the picture. It actually took away some of the richness of the colors, so it kind of made them more pale as opposed to more vibrant, and just something to keep in mind. Even the black, it kind of even took away from that a little bit. But in all honesty, to me, it's not a big deal. I still have the great I still have a great portion of the picture intact, so it doesn't bother me at all. But if you guys do anything like that, I would recommend just spraying it when it's just the pencil. And if you ever go over it with ink or coloring, do that after you do the spray, but wait until it actually dries a couple minutes from now. Make sure you really pay attention to the instructions before you go onto it. So this brand is actually one of my favorites next to the Strathmore. This one is actually called Canson. Oh, also, actually, real quick, I recommend either of these sketchbooks anyway, but it depends on which you do. This is great if you want to just get better with your penciling, your shading, and all that stuff. Premier by Nicole, they're an AC Moore brand, I believe. AC Moore is a very good art store I really like. I got this one also at AC Moore. This one is mixed media, so you can use acrylic, watercolor, pen and pencil, and it does the job. It's really thick paper. 60 sheets in total. It's 9 by 12. So this is actually a very good one. I love my rings. So going into this one, I haven't been doing that much just yet, but I know for those who have been following me for a while, saw this was my first painted picture I've done in years. This was just acrylic paint, and after that I realized I need to get a bunch more paint and also paint brushes. I used a thick one for this one, so I wasn't able to be super detailed like I wanted to be. So as you can see, it's like the Sharpie kind of came through a little bit, but you don't see any of the paint really. I did use it on this one. I used it on this one before I inked it, and you can tell, like, you can't really tell a difference whether I sprayed it or not, and it looks really good. Like, the paper's still very clean and pristine, and there's no issue at all with it. Same with this one. It looks very clean and pristine. No damage is done really to the paper. What I meant to say with this one before was, you can't really say it with most of them. Some of them you can, but with this one you can see it kind of went through the paper a little bit, but that was mainly because I sprayed this a little too close than what I should have. So it kind of tore through the paper a little bit. Not really tore through, but kind of, what's it called, just messed up the paper a little bit. And also with sketches like this, you see some of the smudges. It kind of preserves it in a way, but it gives it this nice little added touch to it that I really kind of like. At first I thought, I don't really like what it did. You can see it on the bottom here a little bit. It did that with some of the way the shading and just the way some of the bullet was placed. It kind of brought it back up, which isn't a bad thing. I kind of like it personally. You just gotta be careful with what paper you use, but really that's anything with any art, to be honest. You gotta be careful with what you draw on. You gotta make sure you always have the right paper. And the smell, other than that, it really does the job. Some of these pictures are months and months old, so over time you can see there's no real damage done to the paper that messes the paper up or the overall quality of the picture. But a few things just to be careful: make sure you color afterwards so you don't risk losing the vibrancy of the color. Unless you want to have that kind of pale look, then maybe it's worth experimenting on. But without further ado, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was very helpful for you. If you have any other questions, do be sure to let me know. You can get this at pretty much any art store. I got this at, I think I got this at Joann Fabrics actually. I don't think I got this at AC Moore, but I know they do have it there too. Or if you go to Michael's, just keep your eyes out. You could probably even find it at Walmart. This is usually maybe about $10, not too bad, and it lasts a while. I draw almost every day, and I got a lot left. So let me know of any other future art videos you'd like to see from me, and do be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video if you if you enjoyed it in general. I'm trying to think of anything else. I'm on Patreon now. The link will be in the description below, and I also have a gaming channel called Ready Set Win. So until the wind hits our sails yet again, I will see you in our next escape. Later days.